Hey there, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for March 2022. Just a quick reminder for all of you as well, I also put out monthly tarot card forecasts the last week of every month, so stay tuned for that. And if you are a YouTube member supporter or a Patreon supporter, I also do weekly tarot forecasts and they come out every Saturday. And if you ever want to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website, integrativemysticism.com, or just follow the links below where you'll find out more information about everything else I just talked about. And don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, engagement helps this channel out a lot. So, what's going on with your March? As I've been telling everybody, March is a very busy, very kinetic, very stimulating month. It's actually overwhelmingly positive, but at the same time, it is going to be a bit more demanding. You know, we have to be ready to rise to this occasion, and you're going to be noticing a lot more areas of life turning on and becoming more demanding of attention than maybe we've been used to, especially from about November until now. And this all starts off on the 2nd of the month with a new moon in Pisces, which is your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, intimacy, as well as self-generated income, and basically any kind of money that you are getting outside of a base salary or hourly income. Now, with a new moon in the 8th house, we see the birth of a new income avenue or the debut of some kind of new monetization project that you can actually take advantage of, not only just for the 2-week window, right, the 2nd through the 17th of this period, but you can actually hold on to it for quite some time. This might be a new regular source of revenue. A new moon in the 8th house is actually beautiful, especially for those of you that are looking to grow your own private enterprise, or if you are self-employed, or if you are looking for a way to supplement your income, add an extra lane, I guess you could say, to that highway. This is going to be your month. This is also great news for those of you that may be curious about any kind of spousal or partner, employment or financial ventures, because this is also indicating a widening of their income avenues as well. If you've been thinking about monetizing a craft or a hobby, or thinking about going into business for yourself, or maybe changing up the services or how you price your own work or what you're putting out there, the new moon in Pisces is going to present you with everything you need to do that well, and of course to continue to accrue more and more revenue for yourself. We also have Venus and Mars walking hand in hand together into Aquarius on the 6th, which is going to be where they stay for the duration of this month and even going into April. So Aquarius is your 7th house of partnerships and closest one-on-one relationships. And you've heard me say it before, this is the area that governs your boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all the people you have your closest one-on-one ties, bonds, and connections and involvements with. With Venus here bringing favor, popularity, love, and affection, you Leo people are going to be finding that this is going to be a month where relationships are going into a bit of a sweet honeymoon kind of phase. And this is going to be a time where you and a partner, or maybe a partner hopeful, are going to get a chance to really shift gears into developing and perfecting a new kind of love language together. There's going to be a lot of opportunities as well for you and your partner, you and your spouse, to be able to be more generous and affectionate with your time and your energy with one another, and also begin to invest more in private priorities that are not necessarily shared so much with the outside world. If you are single or available to new people, this is going to be a month where we are attracting a lot more compatible long-term partner potentials, because with the seventh house, there is always a focus on the longer term commitments, investments, and involvements. And with Venus bringing you that affection and popularity and favor, you're going to be finding people that are also holding the same values and priorities as yourself. And affection is going to be a lot more open during this period for those of you who are meeting new people and those of you who are currently involved with somebody. Venus is going to be not only making that affection all the more honest and open and free-flowing, but we're also releasing any kind of hang-ups or distractions or inhibitions that may have been preventing that, from being so in recent history. We also have Mars here, the planet of action, passion, energy, obstacle clearing, right? That driving force. And what Mars does in the seventh house is that it knocks down barriers and knocks down walls that may be preventing one-on-one connections, close partnerships, including platonic, again, connections, best friends, business alliances, things like that, from being as tight and productive as they can be. Mars in the seventh house is going to be bringing a very strong boon to those of you that do have involvements that actually go beyond maybe just the emotional or social, especially if you are involved in business alliances. Those of you who are thinking about attracting new collaborators, new business partners, are going to be finding that the cream of the crop is attracted to you as well, people you can work with. And also knocking down old walls and clearing old business that may be clouds hanging overhead in any of your long-term connections, right? If there has been sort of an old shadow hanging over a business alliance, or maybe some tension or old business or anything that might have come between you and a best friend or a relative you have a close one-on-one connection with, or any kind of blocks or impediments or old shadows or old business, maybe looming over an existing relationship of any variety, Mars does not have any tolerance for that. And so we are focusing on bringing in not only some permanent solutions to those issues, but also bringing in a new sense of productivity, a new sense of closeness, and a much more tight and established understanding of what camaraderie really, really is here. Because Mars in the seventh house is also about making everybody better friends, right? The best alliances are with people that you trust as your friends and your brothers and sisters in arms. The best friendships obviously are going to have that energy, but also the relationships, the romantic connections that are going to last the test of time are with people that are good friends with each other. And that is how we are going to, that's where a lot of this month, we'll say that's where a lot of this month is putting its focus for you Leo people. We also have Mercury moving into Pisces on the 9th, where Mercury will be from the 9th through the 28th. So Pisces, that's that 8th house of shared resources, passive income, as well as, of course, intimacy. But we're focusing a bit more on the practical. So we're talking about, again, side business, self-employment, any kind of extra money on top of a salary or hourly income. Mercury in the 8th is speeding up how fast you accrue wealth through this area. You may be noticing that any kind of side income, supplemental income, self-employment income streams you have, any kind of tip, commission, sales, or incentive programs you're connected to, any kind of investments you've got going on, are also speeding up through their maturation process and paying you out very handsomely, very quickly throughout the course of this month, especially in that window between the 9th and the 28th. And if there's anything that you are trying to build up for a launch of any kind, right? Remember that new moon in this area as well. Mercury is going to be making sure that not only this happens as quickly and as smoothly as possible, but you are also getting the opportunity to see a fast turnaround on anything that you are putting out there. This is also a great time for those of you that are thinking of making any kind of adjustments to existing investments or existing payment situations that you're involved in, maybe working a little bit on seeing what we can revise, getting current with, making sure that we are able to do the best by ourselves on the work we are putting out there. And with Mercury in the 8th house, again, for those of you curious about partner or alliance or spousal contributions, this is also speeding up their growth as well. We also have the sun in this area of your chart going on through Pisces through the 20th. So the sun bringing attention, enhancement, and support to the 8th house. This is going to be a time where a lot of tremendous healing is getting done when it comes to any kind of intimacy discussions, intimacy conversations, trust conversations, bonding conversations, and of course, any kind of collaborations where we are entrusting our values and valuables to other people, and they are entrusting their values and valuables with us. With the sun in the 8th house, there is going to be a tremendous focus on releasing and dissolving anything that still has a say in what is going on now that is actually preventing us from being able to make a big transition out of a former chapter in our lives. Now, this could be emotional, this could be practical, because again, the 8th house covers both. But with the sun here, as well as with that new moon and that Mercury here, it's time for us to be ready to just be done and cleared of anything that still, whether it's an echo or maybe it's alive and well, could still be having too much of a say in our goings on, not only in our private life, but also with our own economic or material quality of life. The sun here is also going to be bringing attention, enhancement, and support to you by also increasing the value that you are getting back from a lot of your supplemental income streams or your independent business programs. And you may find that even something small, something that you have not really been able to give a chance to invest in or had a chance to invest in, or something that you feel you wish you could give more time to than you've been allowed to, is finally going to be able to have its day as well. After the 20th, the sun moves on into Aries, which is your 9th house of higher education, government legal proceedings, travel, culture, your reach, right? Your connection opportunities, as well as your spiritual path and practice. And we have Mercury moving into this area as well as we get past the 28th of this month. And both of these will be in your 9th house into April. When we have such a focus going on here, a lot of you Leo people are getting a chance to get out of a pattern or get off a road that you are now ready to make a departure from. This can happen in a way where we are pulled out of our bubble, pulled out of our comfort zone, and aligned with a new goal or a new trajectory. With the sun in the 9th house, this is changing who is attracted to you, who's showing up to give you that attention, enhancement, and support. And you're going to be finding that you are palling around with a lot of new crowds, especially when it comes to matters of business, academia, and your spiritual life. This is actually going to open a lot of doors for you as well, because with the sun in the 9th house, this is also going to help you to traverse or clear any kind of hurdles that may have kept you from making such a transition in the past. Mercury in this area is also opening up the doors to some big moves, whether they are travel opportunities that could be actually getting underway, whether it's happening in March or maybe later on in the year. Some of you may be thinking about a full-on move or relocation, not just necessarily a trip. Some of you may be setting up a home away from home or a new home base. And a lot of you are also going to get a chance to publicize or market or promote something that's very, very near and dear to your heart in order for you to be able to actually, again, become known for something else when it comes to the general public and how they view you. You're also going to find the end of this month and going into April is going to be extremely I would almost, let's just say esoteric, because your spiritual life, your sense of place in the world and in the universe is going into a place of greater depth. You may be noticing different abilities turning on, being able to actually have deeper conversations and much more soul-touching conversations with people that have really come far in their own spiritual growth, their own spiritual practice. You're building sort of a new community here. And you may find that even, yes, when it comes to the woo-woo, which you know that's what I'm all about if you look at any of my videos on this channel, you're going to find that maybe even some abilities or skills in the realm of psychic arts or applied metaphysics are also turning on. So it could be kind of spooky every now and then. And if it gets too spooky, just give me a call, because you know what? That's my wheelhouse. Finally, we have a full moon in Virgo, which is on the 18th of the month. So creating another 2-week window, right? The first half of the month was all about that new moon in Pisces. The second half of the month is all about the full moon in Virgo. A full moon is all about transitions and culminations. And Virgo is your second house of earned income, employment, your values, and your valuables. And with a full moon in the second house, there is a page turn going on. And a lot of you Leo people may find that in the second half of March, you are given an opportunity to make a big break away from maybe a routine, a salary, or maybe even a role or employment situation that you have outgrown. Some of you may find that, yes, if you have been open to the idea of taking on a different job or a different role, you may find something that is worth quitting over because you've secured it and you are ready to move on to greener pastures, to bigger and better things. Some of you may find that it's not necessarily a situation where you are, say, putting in your 2 weeks or your 30 days notice during this period to move on to a new job, but you are getting into a space where you are able to make a departure from maybe the superior, or maybe the tasks or the assignments or the classification or the designation you've held. Because a full moon in the second house is giving you a chance to make a big break here. This is also going to be a time where a lot of you may find that you are leaving a road that ultimately has hit a bit of a dead end, and maybe it hit a dead end a little while ago. We've gotten tired of it. We don't want to do this anymore, whether it's we don't want to do this for a living, or we don't want to do this in the way we run our household or the way we run our family. Again, values and valuables. And this full moon in Virgo is going to give you a chance to clean your slate. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all know I appreciate it. And should you ever wish to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.